Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Kay Murray, Craig Burley, Jan Agafiotov and Don Hutchison. And Don, be careful to not be saying player and manager first names because you know what will happen to you with Craig in the studio.
Fine.
It's not going to be having it.
It's fine, isn't it?
All right. Don, can you believe it? The first question is a percentage question. Abu Dakia says, Don.
Come on, man.
What's the percentage chance of PSG not winning the Champions League this year?
Oh, difficult.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's the fact that you put not in there. That's absolutely scrambled my brain straight away. If it was, what's the chances of them winning it? I could have sort of got on board with the not is absolutely thrown me.
Well, I tell you what, Don. Give us a percentage chance of them winning it, and then subtract that from 100, and that'll get you to the
80.
Right. So
80.
20.
20. Yeah. 20. Yeah. Cheers, Craig.
Work back the way.
All right.
Do you know what I mean? You got
it. Thanks.
Cheers, mate.
Mr.
He
Burley.
must have had somebody sat next to him in class at school doing the same thing. How many times did you put your hand up in class? Excuse me, Mrs. or
No, I was just looking out the window. I was just looking out the window watching football.
Fair enough. Joseph Rennie, for Jan. Yesterday, Stevie and Craig said PSG would have absolutely no problem without a proper central midfielder when Frank suggested otherwise. One of the biggest mistakes of Real Madrid's Galactico era was selling Claude Makelele. What's your take on this?
I think that is a very good point. We discussed that earlier in some shows. I think you have to have the balance in the team. I don't think I will be the guy who says that this PSG thing won't be a big success. Yes, it'll be fantastic. I'm so looking forward. I will see all the French games and so on. But I'm not sure about the balance in the team. And we'll see Mbappé when everything will be about Messi. When Messi scores the winner, it's a Messi game. When Messi doesn't score, it's a Messi game. We'll see how that is going on. And we'll see Neymar as well, getting his friend over there. I think that is 100% right that the Galacticos, they didn't have the balance. And if you have to look how many trophies they won many, were they? And Makelele, the selling of Makelele, catastrophe.
So that's not true, and it says proper centre defender, but it was central midfielder.
Yeah,
maybe Joseph meant that, but it's also not true to say that, and I'm not talking for Stevie here, I'm talking for myself, to say that we said they would have absolutely no problem without a natural. We talked about, and Julian Laurent's mentioned Marquinhos going in there. We know Verratti can play a little bit deeper, and so it wasn't. I think in France potentially yes. It's not going to be such an issue, but when they come up in the real nitty-gritty knockout stages of the Champions League, which I'm sure they're going to get to that, then we all know you need to have, as Jan said, the balance in the team. So at no point did we say they're not going to have no problem without. Look at Barcelona last year. Messi scored 39 goals, I think, or thereabouts. Right? They still struggled because central defence, middle of the park with Busquets, doesn't get around the same anymore. There were problematic areas for them, and PSG will have the same. But I just think they've got enough people within the squad that they can manoeuvre them around. See, people twisting words again.
Yep, well, we like to do that here on ESPNFC. Dimitri asks, who would win in a match, Real Madrid's Galacticos or this current PSG team? What do you reckon, Craig?
Remind me of the Galacticos.
Figo, Zidane, David Beckham, Raul would include it in there, Ronaldo, Brazilian Ronaldo.
Wow, can't remember it. I can remember it-ish, but I don't remember watching it. I don't know.
So you're going for Real Madrid, Don?
Percentage.
I'm saying Real Madrid.
They'd win it. Why would they win this one?
I just think that team, that Galactico team, was just ridiculous, wasn't it? Was Zizou in that as well?
Yep.
I mean, they were all in there, weren't they? Brazilian 9. I mean, they were outrageous. I mean, I understand the comparisons. I mean, it's a good comparison, but I think Real Madrid, because we're already talking about the potential problems. And just go back to the last one. I think where PSG might, or it's going to be interesting for me watching on, is when Pochettino names an 11. Straight away, I'm going to be looking at all the faces that are sitting on the substitutes bench that have got the ump, because you can only pick 11. And in the very biggest of games, there's going to be some unhappy faces sitting on that bench. So that's going to be a test for him.
Who takes penalties, guys, for PSG?
We had it asked on Extra Time the other day. It's a brilliant question now because you've even got Ramos into the mix there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Ramos, Mbappe, Neymar, Lionel Messi.
Messi had a few problems with these penalties.
And then Neymar had a few arguments with Cavani a few seasons ago, remember, on taking the penalties. Yeah. We know that Mbappe has shown himself to be expecting to be doing some
I don't think it's going to be all... It's going to be... I think it is going to be difficult for Pochettino to manage everybody's egos here.
Oh, it's all going to blow up. It's all going to blow up.
And we'll be watching.
And by the way, that's another fine for you.
Why?
What did he
Unless Zinedine Zidane is your mate.
Oh, come on, man.
Zizou.
You can get away with Zizou, can't you?
Jan,
You get away with that.
I want to know what Jan would go for. Galacticos against the current PSG team.
Galacticos every day. I think that team was unbelievable. I mean, that team, they put together all those kind of players with Ronaldo. Sometimes we tend to... It's unbelievable. We tend to forget how good Ronaldo was. I mean, this is the original Ronaldo. I mean, and David Beckham at his best, working as a horse on the right side there. And so I can't believe they didn't win trophies. But again, that was the other question. The balance in the team. When you see the best managers in the world, when you're sitting next or behind them in some big games, the only thing that they're shouting at is the number 6. It's the holding midfielder, 1 or 2 in midfield. And maybe, and if you've heard the stories about the Galacticos, they forgot that they had to defend, and even that team had trouble with them. But if you go through that team, unbelievable. And I just want to say that when Messi, Suarez, and Neymar played together in Barcelona, they didn't win the Champions League either, did they?
Yeah, but there was a wonderful understanding between the three of those.
Is that?
Messi,
I got a
Suarez.
wonderful understanding with my wife sometimes, but I don't win anything.
No, but you wonder if there'll be that same understanding with this front three at PSG.
Oh, we'll find out. I'm just thinking about Ronaldo there. What do you think? You think about Messi, this great dribbler of the ball and beats people. People forget, as Jan said. I mean, I played against him in that Scotland-Brazil game in France, and every time he picked the ball up, he would beat 2, 3, 4 good defenders as well, and the ball would be rifling just past Jim Leighton and into the side net and over, and I was like, holy smokes. It was like every time. I mean, he was on... I think we do tend to forget. People do, I think that's modern society, isn't it? It's like, it's now, whatever happened then is gone. It's like, this is the greatest thing now. And Messi has been great, but Ronaldo was doing stuff like that before he had his problems. Week in, week out, it was scary.
So if you are watching us on YouTube, do yourself a favour and go and see the best of Ronaldo, best bits on YouTube.
Exactly.
You could play that boy.
You'll end up going down a rabbit hole there. Eddie, Jan.
Eddie.
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 Eddie would like to know, Jan, are you as confident as every Manchester United fan that Haaland could be headed to Old Trafford now that almost all top players have guaranteed their new clubs? Surely the Sancho and Ole dynamic tips the scale in their favour, no?
You mean that club that Erling Haaland 1.5 years ago said no to? Manchester United? Now, I'm not 100% sure that he will go to Manchester United. What Team Haaland has done all around, and we can talk a lot about Raiola, we can talk about money, we can talk about agents, but what I've always done, they've done the right thing for the development of the player. He could have gone to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the first place from Salzburg. He didn't do it because he felt it was right to develop at Dortmund. I expect Erling Haaland, his next club or whatever he will go a place that he will be guaranteed titles. Will Manchester United be that next summer? We'll see. If they will be one of the partly clubs that can get him. But no, don't be too confident. This Sancho, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer thing, that is nothing to do with it. They will find a club that fits his development.
I could honestly see, we were talking about it on yesterday's show, the transition that Real Madrid are going to have to make in at least the next 12 months and beyond, with the age of a lot of their players, right? And the fitness level of a lot of their players, Casemiro, Modric, Kroos, Ramos is gone, Marcelo's still there, Benzema's not going to be able to keep doing it, maybe another year or two max. I could honestly see them splurging, one on the free transfer of Mbappe and two on the big signing of somebody like Erling Haaland, because they're going to want to make a huge statement, but it's probably not going to be for 12 months' time till the dust settles. So I think, I mean, I might be wrong, I don't know, but I think if I was Erling Haaland, that's where I'd be wanting to go. I'd want to go to Spain before I'd want to go to England, put it that way at the moment.
Okay.
Barca and Spain have always been, for all the problems at the moment, and they're not the strongest teams, and the Premier League's a great league, right? City have been a great team, and Liverpool and United at times, Chelsea. But Barcelona and Real Madrid have always been the two places to go.
Yeah, when they come calling, it's hard to say no for some.
And I know with all the problems, people say, well, they haven't got this, they haven't got that, they haven't got this. No Messi, no Ronaldo. Those are still two destination clubs. And I think that could be the big difference for somebody like Erling Haaland.
Nora Lay says, Don, who would be the first manager to be sacked from the Premier League this season?
Unfortunately, I've tipped them. I got asked my bottom five and top five, which is strange when you try and go top five, bottom five. But I had Southampton in there. So I think Ralph Hasenhüttl might struggle this season. They've lost way too many players. They've lost another one today. Vestergaard's gone to Leicester. Danny Ings has gone. Bertrand has gone. James Ward-Prowse has been linked with Villa. They took a couple of spankings, about a couple of 9-0s over the last couple of seasons. I don't think they'll go down, but I think Southampton might get off to a bad start. They've got Everton at Goodison first day of the season, so that's a big game. So I'm going to go Ralph Hasenhüttl. I
think they might go down when you talk about all those players they've lost and how poorly they finished the season last year. I'm also intrigued why Don found it very strange that somebody asked him for his top five, which would be the best, and his bottom five, which would have been the worst. Don?
Well, normally it's top four, bottom three, isn't it? I mean, the five was a bit of a strange one.
Well, maybe because you usually in the bottom five, you at least see the ones who were scrapping to try and avoid the drop.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Well, that's Pete for you.
But I do think...
That's Pete, the producer, for you.
Yeah, but I think that, Don, it's a fair point that Hasenhüttl will have trouble with all the players he led away. But you will think that the club has a plan doing that. I mean, you can't just get all the players out, and after half of the season you will think, well, you didn't produce and we have to sack you. So you maybe think that is a part of a philosophy. Let's see how things developing, because Ralph Hasenhüttl got a good football brain, but as you were saying, they were struggling at the end of the season. But I think he's one of the good guys. He knows a bit about football, so I hope he will stay on.
No, I agree.
Was Steve Bruce in there? Was Steve Bruce in there, Don?
Walking out the door.
Was Newcastle in there, Don?
No, I think Brucey's all right, you know. I think Mike Ashley's not going to sack him, mate. He's done what Mike Ashley wants. He wants Newcastle to be safe. He wants that Premier League money, so I don't think Brucey's going anywhere. And actually, Newcastle finished the season quite strong last season, so I think he'll be okay. I think Hasenhüttl will be before Steve Bruce.
What about you, mate?
What about Arteta?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's in trouble.
What about Nuno Espirito Santo?
No. Can't imagine. I think Arteta before him. Arteta's got it all on. He's had his couple of seasons, hasn't he? Now, Mikel Arteta. Now he's got to seriously improve this Arsenal team now.
All right.
No sign of it.
Don, Ezio says, how do you feel about Rangers being eliminated from the Champions League already? Pretty embarrassing for Xhaka's power rankings to have such a team up there.
Well, it wouldn't matter. I mean, they were invincible last season, and Xhaka didn't have them anywhere near the top six. I think seventh. I think he had Rangers, but it was a blow. It was all done in the first leg against Malmo. They had a crazy sort of couple of minutes, and they'd done well to sort of smell the game, Rangers, and score in the last minute. You think 2-1 back at Ibrox, they should win. I think they took the lead off the top of my head. Malmo went down to 10. So you're watching the game thinking it's going to be fine, and then to lose in the way they did, it's a little bit of a shocker, that, and probably a reality check. And I'm never one of these that'll say it might be the best thing that happened to Rangers because it's a blow, but it might just knock one or two players back into check and get back to business.
Frank LeBeouf.
Shaq was strong-armed into putting Rangers in. Felt bad, but he's a bit like you really when you slandered Scottish football a couple of weeks ago.
No.
When Rangers beat
Craig,
Real
how
Madrid.
can you go?
You made me walk right into it.
On a serious note,
Yeah.
on a serious note, how can you go invincible and not make the top 3 in Shaka's power rankings?
I can't speak
Invincible.
for what goes through the mind of Shaka Hislop. I can't.
Is Don allowed to say Stevie G?
Well, he's just said Brucey.
I heard Brucey.
I'm accumulating some fines here.
All right, Frank LeBeouf says, what's the most embarrassing prediction or statement you've ever made as a pundit? I'll start with you, Jan.
Why do you start with me that had everything right all summer?
Because that's why it makes it
I said-
more interesting.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, well, the biggest statement I had, you remember that, you got to help me with the name now, that right back that Manchester United took from Italy, the guy who didn't play many games, and he went back to Italy. Help me with the name. A couple of seasons ago, played on the right
Dallo.
side. Yeah, no, he's not there now. He went back to Italian
Matteo
football.
Darmian.
Yes, maybe him. But I said he will probably end up being the best right back in the world. And he wasn't even the best right back in the Manchester area where he lived. So I think that was the worst prediction. Damien, yeah. Help me.
Yeah, Matteo Darmian.
Darmian.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I said.
Yeah, thank you, Kay. I didn't hear you. I'm all the way from Norway, you know. So no, that was my worst prediction. And I thought he would turn into a great player, but he didn't.
Okay, well, we'll let you off that one, Jan, because you
Thank
are
you.
the prediction king usually.
Thank
Craig.
you.
Well, lots. But one of the games I was doing years ago, and it was Manchester City Chelsea, and I was doing the commentary with Jim Proudfoot, and on Setanta Sports, it was functioning at the time, and John Terry got sent off, right? And we analysed this and kept running the replays in because it was whether at the time he was last man denying a goal scoring opportunity. And so we kept showing it from different angles to see if it was the correct decision, but he got sent off. And then about 10 minutes later, somebody it was injury time, somebody made a last gasp challenge to clear the ball off the Chelsea line. And I said, what a great tackle by John Terry. And Grant Phillips, the match director in my ear, said, Craig, he was sent off 20 minutes ago. And I hit the button to talk to him and I went, shall I bring it up or shall we just leave it? And he said, just 30 seconds to go, let's just leave it. But it was in my head, you know, because I've been talking about
Always,
it.
of
And actually
course.
it was Ricardo Carvalho that made the tackle. And I mean, there's been loads of mistakes. But you go home and kill yourself. You go home and beat yourself up about it.
Yeah, of course. And you're thinking
But
about it all the
love-
time.
You do.
I love the ones, Kay, when we pundits will say before a game. So the host will say, what kind of game do you think this is going to be? And I remember hosting in Norway, we had a Norwegian national captain in my time, Rune Bratz, a great defender playing for Werder Bremen. And it was the Liverpool-Chelsea game. And it said, I just have to disappoint all viewers. There won't be a lot of goals. 4-4 it was. And I've always, I love those kind of predictions before games.
Well, that's the one wonderful thing about social media. They'll always come and remind you of any of these predictions.
Exactly.
Afterwards, they don't say it when you've made the prediction. They wait until after that game's happened, and then they'll come and tell you about it. It only counts if
because
it's
predictions
before.
are what they are, and of course you don't know how a team's going to play, how a manager's going to select his team, and who's fit generally and who's not. So it's a kind of guessing game, but I love the people that come on and say, and there have been suggestions that you should be fired, not you, us, me, pundits should be fired for getting predictions wrong. It's like, show me a pundit.
Well, I wonder if Don will get fired for being so set on Harry Kane to City. Harry to Pep City.
Kay, just very quickly, me and Craig's worked with a guy called John Dykes who's working for the Premier League, and Newcastle were playing Arsenal at St James's Park, and Arsenal were 4-0 up at half-time.
Oh, yeah, I remember that game.
John Dykes said to me at half-time, he went, what will the mood be like on Tyneside when the players come out for the second half? And I went, I said, the crowd are going to be nasty. It's going to be horrible. And he said, is there any way back? And I went, absolutely no chance. This could be 7 or 8. Finished 4-4, and the cameras panned on the Newcastle fans in the Gallagher end, and they were all singing and dancing 4-0 down. I couldn't have got it more wrong. It was ridiculous.
It sounds the same as your percentages reps, John.
But 4-0, you're thinking, come on.
I know, fair enough. Anyway, that's all we've got time for on the latest edition of Extra Time. Thank you so much for your questions.
We're not in Spain, we're here.
We are here, slogging it. ESPNFC,
Thomas.
because of us staying back, available daily for you.
Yeah.
Make sure to never miss it.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPNFC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.